What's up, everybody? It's good to see everybody. Excited to be back. Had a lot of good Beltline walks this summer, so that was good, always productive. Just wanted to say we had a productive off-season. I felt like we really did a good job with addressing some needs on the roster. We're really excited about the guys and talent we brought in, but also the type of people that we brought in as well. These guys are cultural fits. They fit our group, they fit our organization, and that was a big part of the recruitment process, a big part of the talent evaluation process as well. We look at character as a big deal here. Also a big productive off-season when it comes to just our front office and building that out some more. And Peter Dinwiddie, Bryson Graham is joining Kyle and myself in leadership positions here in Atlanta. We're super excited for those guys. They've been a tremendous help and add myself. And I really do want to thank our front office for everything they've done this summer. Everybody worked their ass off. It was great. From our VPs to our seasonals, shout out to them. Those guys do a lot of work, and just super excited and again very thankful for Tony and the rest of the family to give me this opportunity to lead this organization from a basketball operations front. He's been nothing but supportive, and we're really looking forward for this year. We're really excited about this group, and just with that though comes we are evaluating. Any and every team is evaluating their roster all the time, right? For us, it's like when you evaluate, you also got to realize like we have a lot of new faces here, and for that to gel and build that chemistry takes a little bit of time. We haven't had a practice yet, so I know there's these expectations publicly that have been out there, but at the same time, like I'd like to see us practice once and see that happen. Play a game or two maybe. But we're really excited about this group, and with the evaluation part comes a development component. Like I told you guys, like we're not here to be good for a year. We're trying to be good for a long time. We're trying to build something sustainable, something with some longevity. I've come from programs where that was the emphasis, and we're hoping to build that here in Atlanta. We really are. And when you talk about development, like I think it gets misconstrued quite frequently about you talk about young guys like Jalen, Dyson, Zach, Asa. Like I said before, if you're 19 or 35 and you come into the Atlanta Hawks program, trying to build an elite basketball program here, we want you to be the best version of yourself when you come here. San Antonio, that was a lot of the messaging, the tenets in our values was development, and it's the same thing here. Like a big reason why Nikhil came here was the development component. He wanted to get better, and he saw that within our program. And I think that's every player on our roster is trying to get better. Guys have been in the gym a lot this summer, and it's awesome to see it. And the vibe has been great in our group, so we're super excited about that. But we are developmentally focused in that regard, and that extends to our front office. Everybody here, I'm trying to get better at this too. Like, nobody's perfect at this stuff, right? And then when it comes to, like I said, guys are in the gym. Guys have been working hard. They're doing their thing, and it's been just awesome seeing the gym so active and the guys in there vibing and joking around. We got a good energy about us right now, and I think we're going to put out a team that's really competitive. Guys that are going to work hard. Guys that are going to play together and for each other, and we're really excited about that. So, yeah, I'll open it up to some questions.
Onsi, you touched on it in your opening statements, and obviously it's been a theme through our last couple of availabilities with you. How do you feel like the moves that you made this offseason set the foundation for long-term success?
Yeah, I like all the players that came in. Again, culturally, they fit us. Fit-wise on the court, I think it's really interesting with some of the guys we brought in. The archetypes that we were looking for, we were able to get this summer. I think I'm really excited. Again, I'd like to see us practice and play a little bit and see this group gel, but I think we got a great group of guys and they're ready to compete day one.
That's Zach Line from Channel 2 here to your right. while you haven't seen him practice, while you haven't seen him play, I'm sure while you've taken those walks on the belt line, you've had that vision in your head of what it could look like. So what does success, how good this team could be in 2025 in your eyes, if it fits your vision in your head?
Yeah, I mean, I can't put like a win total. I'd be lying to you guys if I think, I think we're gonna win X amount of games. I don't know the answer to that without them seeing, but theoretically, like, we just feel like the guys fit all together. We know that we aren't there yet in the sense of like the ceiling of this team, because that's not gonna be found out until Jalen, Tyson, Zach, like these guys ace up. Like, these guys aren't close to their primes yet. They got a long way to go, and they're really good right now. But there's another level to these guys, and we're not going to see that for a couple of years. And that again is the goal, right? Like we're not really trying to be focused so much on win totals this year versus being a sustainable contending team for a long period of time. So yeah, I like to see them practice and do their thing, but this is all future based.
I know this is a big year for some guys, especially with the contract situations looming. I know you don't publicly talk about those, but I am curious about what you've learned from San Antonio and Golden State as far as sort of managing the relationships and the expectations that guys have when it comes to that.
Yeah, like I'm in constant communication with everybody's agent. We talk all the time, sometimes weekly, and just productive talks on everything, like how we want to play, roles, fits, all, like player engagement stuff, everything. My thing is like we're here for the players at all times. That's the culture we want to build here, where we're player focused, player centric, and the players honestly they're not worried about that stuff. They really aren't. They're locked in for this season and really ready to go and being the best version of our team. And again, like the energy in the gym, you guys will feel it soon. It's pretty elite right now.
Just on that, Onsi, Dyson's eligible for his rookie extension up until October 20, I believe it is, this season. Obviously, he'll still be restricted at the end of next season. And again, while Lauren said, you're not going to go into too many details, can you give us any insight? Have you had any discussions, and do you anticipate those ramping up in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, like I said, I won't talk about any of the dynamics there, but we love Dyson. I think Dyson's going to be here for a long time. He's a big piece to what we're doing here.
Onsi, I know you probably can't get too detailed into it, but with the trade of Kobe Buffkin and with him possibly being the backup point guard, what was kind of the thought process of trading him?
Yeah, we wish Kobe the best. He's an amazing human being. With that trade, I think a lot of the pieces that we were thinking about were like the cap flexibility, things like that. Gives us more space to the apron as well. It also gives Kobe a better pathway to play. We made some transactions this summer with Akil and Luke, and like that pathway just became a little bit more difficult. And we felt like this was best for both parties, and we're really we're excited about the outcome for Kobe, and we're excited for the flexibility that we created too.
Onsi, when you talk about a cornerstone piece like Jalen Johnson, obviously having the season-ending injury last season, key piece to this team, franchise player, what is it, obviously before he got injured, he was making really big steps when it comes to just his game overall. We've always known him as an athletic guy, but he was adding components to his game before his injury. Now that he comes into this season healthy, what is it that you're expecting from him when it comes to him taking his game to the next level?
Yeah, I think Jalen had his best summer too. Like talking to him, talking to his agent, like he has been working on his game tremendously. And I think we're going to see the best version of Jalen Johnson. He's fully healthy, ready to roll for camp. So we're super excited about him. He's a big piece of what we do. And again, like he is just, there's so much more development there for him. Like the sky is the limit for Jalen, and we're just super excited, but we're not going to skip any steps for that too. And he knows that, and he's been working hard on parts of his game that he needs to get better at. And I couldn't be more excited for a player. He's just the ultimate team guy as well, culture guy, and we're really excited for him to have a big season.
Onsi, Kristaps sort of struggled last season. When he did play, he was okay, but he had that mystery illness. But for Latvia at Eurobasket, he looked really good. Just wondering, was there any hesitancy when you made that deal, considering he has struggled to stay on the court the last couple of seasons, but then, he had such a strong Eurobasket for Latvia?
Honestly, no. When it came to Kristaps and just his talent, his ability to stretch the floor, the rim protection, he's so unique. That's why he was a unicorn originally, right? That's it still is. I was in Latvia, and Riga, by the way, beautiful city. Kristaps he looked great. He looked phenomenal. We've been in constant communication throughout the summer. He's feeling great. I think that him playing in Eurobasket and the way that he did play has kind of created this momentum going into training camp. He's so excited, and we're super excited for him and the different lineup variabilities that we can have with him and things that he could provide on the court offensively, defensively. And again, super excited, but no, there wasn't any hesitation there.
In the same vein as Lee, I guess we have the same thought process, but Zach and Veet also participated in Eurobasket. What did you see from them that maybe, allowed you to see what you guys could do with them as far as roles this year?
Yeah, with both of them, again, really excited for both of them. Those guys, again, still developing. Zach is 20, and it's crazy to think that. He should be a sophomore in college, basically. Nuts. But he was playing in the fourth quarter in big minutes of an elimination game at Eurobasket. And just for him to be in that environment, it's like a game 7. So that piece is just developmentally is good. You get into a playoff game, you get into a must-win game. Just him having that experience is so big, and I think he's gotten stronger too, which is it's really nice to see. And he's worked on all components of his game. He was basically with the French team all summer, and they have a great program there where they're developmentally focused too. They brought a younger team in, and I thought he did really, really well. Veet, same thing. It was really cool to see Veet kind of be like the alpha in that role with the Czech team. So I thought he was great, and just the confidence there and the development in that kind of role was really good for him. So really, really productive Eurobasket for all our guys. We're super excited for them, and we're super excited to see them continue to develop with us.
Kind of an unconventional offer sheet for N'Faly Dante, and alongside that, brought in Charles Bassey, Caleb Houston, kind of a bunch of guys that have NBA experience at the end of the roster, seemingly competing in camp. Is that something you wanted to do? And also going back to Dante, what led to that as far as grabbing a guy off the two-way on an offer sheet?
Yeah, just with a big situation, Charles, Dante, the idea there is let's create a really good competition camp. Let's evaluate both these guys, see how they do, and with the offer sheet, it was really just a talent acquisition piece. I just think watching him in the G League last year, he was phenomenal. He was the way he moves at that size, and 7'6" wingspan, 6'11", he's huge, great character as well. He's just been such a positive to have in the gym with his energy. But it was really just that. It was an opportunity to go get somebody that could be a potential developmental big in our system. We didn't have a second-round pick this year, and one of the things we've talked about for a long time is having a developmental big, and that's why we look at both Dante and Charles in that light.
In what specific ways would you like to see Trey improve in now his 8th season, which is hard to believe?
It's crazy, right? 8th season. He's still so young, and he's a guy that's he's just entering his prime right now, which is remarkable to think about. This guy's been in the Eastern Conference Finals. I thought last year he made tremendous steps with the leadership component. I thought he was great playing off the ball. His energy towards the game, his teammate. I thought he was great last year, and just continuing on those things. I think he's going to have a great season. We're super confident in him. Just helping lead our guys and playing with a guy like Onyeka and Kristaps and Luke and Nikhil, and having more weapons around him too. I think it's super exciting, but he's just the natural development of a star player. He's getting better every year, and we expect that to happen this season as well.
Onsi, Ken Segura, the Dual Constitution. To go back to what you were saying about Kristaps, speaking generally, when you're trying to acquire a player, what sort of medical information is available to you as far as looking at records or your doctors talking to their doctors? And then kind of on the same vein, like, as you're assessing injury risk, like, I'm sure it's not yes or no, but like, do you have like a scale or a grade, or how do you kind of assess that part of it?
Yeah, we have like medical grades that we typically give out during like the draft and player acquisition type deals and things like that. But like you really get like a lot of the intel, like there's a lot of public information out there, but then like the player ultimately has to come in for a physical, right? And they have to pass that physical. And we had no hesitation about whether or not he was gonna pass that. So he was healthy. As you saw in Eurobasket, he looked great. I know people were questioning the health and everything, but when I was in Riga, this guy shoots a three, gets his own rebound, dunks it. I'm like, yeah, he's fine. He's all right. He's okay. Put up 34 and 19 in your last game. You feel pretty good about that.
Onsi up top, blue catcher, jump to significant amount of changes in front office, additions to the roster. When you have that acquisition period and bringing a bunch of people, what are those conversations with Trey?
With the front office additions?
With more so the roster.
Oh yeah. No, Trey was a big part of that. We talked to Trey about that. I would call him, tell him, hey, like, what do you think about these guys? What's your thought process there? He was great in helping recruit those guys too. Like, unbelievable just to have a player that's able to do that. We've seen in the past in different organizations I've been where star players have done that. And we're in constant communication about that stuff. Even like the draft stuff. Like I was like, Trey, what do you think about this guy? What do you think about this guy? And he was big on Asa too. Really big on Asa. He was a huge fan of his.
Yeah, of course, you say you didn't. You want to see everybody practice first, but I guess what are some of the strong points you see on the roster, and I guess somewhere you think needs some improvement?
Yeah, I think like a lot of people bring up the ball handling stuff or like the point guard position. When I was at Golden State, we didn't have a backup point guard technically. Like it's not how we played. Like we ended up winning a championship though. If you have multiple guys that are like, I do think we actually have a lot of ball handlers personally, and we have ball handlers with size as well. And just kind of like adding to the roster, we added size in a lot of different areas. We added shooting, more skill. We added guys that are connectors. Luke, Nikhil, Kristaps, all those guys. I feel like they're connectors, and what I mean by that is like they get everybody involved in different ways too. Spacing, respacing. They can play, with the ball, without the ball, and we have multiple handlers that I feel comfortable with, honestly. And but the things that we had in shooting, size, defense, I think getting better defensively was big for us. Adding a guy like Nikhil and Kristaps. You both get protection on the perimeter now and at the rim with Kristaps, so we feel good about all those things. We had some shooting too. Obviously, Luke is one of the best shooters that has ever played in this league, and Nikhil shot 40% from three. KPU was a 40+% three-point shooter too. So I feel like we figured out some spacing stuff with how we're going to play. And we're, again, super excited for these guys. I think it helps everybody, Trey, Dyson, Jalen, Zach, with some of the additions that we made.
We've seen both Trey advance defensively. We've seen Dyson advance defensively as well under the leadership and the philosophies of Coach Snyder. What are your expectations for Nikhil in his first season with Coach Snyder?
With Nikhil, again, being one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, offensively, he's a knockdown three-point shooter, but he can handle the ball really well. He can initiate offense. There's a lot of components there that he can do that we're really comfortable with him. And that was a big reason why we signed him, was not just for one thing, but for multiple things. We're super excited about him, and pairing him with Dyson at times. I just think that's going to be hell for some teams with those two guys out there, KP back there as well. So just really excited about Nikhil this season, and again, he's developing as well. We're going to try and elevate his game in some areas too, and he wants to do that. And that's a big reason why I came here.
And again, You touched on Trey's sort of growth as a leader last year, and I know that word sort of encompasses a lot of different things, but how do you see him taking the next step as that leader of this team?
Yeah, I honestly thought he took great steps last year, and it's just continuing off that, like being vocal on the court, off the court, bringing guys together. He was great. I mean, you guys probably saw the event he had last week, the pickleball. I couldn't play pickleball because I was too scared to get hurt, but he was great. All his teammates showed up. It was awesome, them spending time together, and just things like that are just so, they're indicative of his leadership development and just continuing to do that stuff. And we couldn't be more happy with him.
Talk about your runway plan of success. You look at the last few champions, whether it's Oklahoma City or Boston or Denver. How much of that is having dudes, and how much of that is having dudes that want to play defense?
Oh, that's a great question. Like those guys, those teams, like you look at like OKC, Indiana, Boston, right? Defensively, they're all really good, right? Really good physical teams as well. The guard on the perimeter had rim protection with the archetypes of players that they have, and yeah, like, you have to be good defensively to be a contending team in this league. I don't know how many teams contended without being like in the top 10 in the league, right? In the past few years. We feel like we got a good group of dudes, and like they're gonna get better at that too. Team defensively is a whole other concept. I think that's again why I want to see us practice and see us play a little bit, but individually I think we added a lot there in the size and athleticism, defense, on the ball, off the ball, to help us get there.
You mentioned the flexibility that you created with the Kobe trade. A lot of guys on non-guaranteed deals too. Do you anticipate carrying a full 15 roster? Is there flexibility? I know you only have to have 14, but do you have a plan on whether you want to have the full group or not?
Yeah, honestly, it's a fluid and ongoing conversation, just how camp goes and how things play out. There's a lot of things that could happen between now and the start of the season, so just maintaining that flexibility for that purpose. And we could go to 15, we could stay at 14. Just kind of depends on how camp goes and what we feel like we have. And now we have a little bit more extra flexibility where you can roster 15 if you want. You have some exceptions and things like that you can use. So yeah, just really excited about the flexibility and optionality that we have. I know you guys are sick of that word probably. We'll see how it all goes throughout camp.
I don't think anyone's sick of it, just me. I was curious, as far as Onyeka and just him earning the starter's position last year, obviously going into camp, that sort of opens up a lot of things with Kristaps there. What are you hoping to see that maybe gives him the edge to be the starter, or what are you hoping to see from Kristaps that maybe convinces you that he's the starter?
Yeah, when it comes to those two guys, the one thing I can say is they're both going to play an integral role to our success this year. I don't have that answer for you. That's not my call. And again, we'll go through camp and figure everything out. But both those guys are going to be so important to our success this year. And there's a lot of interesting lineups we could play to the flexibility we have with those two guys now.
Any other questions?
I know you talk about the word optionality a lot. Is that something that's fluid, or is it something that just always changes?
I mean, yeah, I think it's fluid. I got it tattooed across my chest now. We're rolling with it, but I think you have to be in this current CBA and cap environment. Things have changed, as you've seen. Like you've seen teams get pinched by it, and we never want to be in that position. We want to take advantage of the situation and the new rules whenever we can, but we never want to be in a situation where we're like, damn, we're right up against the apron and we can't sign a player, can't do something because of that. So I think being optional in those circumstances is always going to be something that's going to be a tenet in our roster building philosophy.
Hey, it's Dan. I just wanted to make sure I get a chance to talk about it. I would wonder if there's a difference between healthy and like having a history of injury, being injury prone, and kind of how you look at that, particularly with him, with Kristaps.
Yeah, again, we're super confident in Kristaps' health and him playing a healthy season, having a great season. We wouldn't have made the trade if we didn't think that. Like, there was no hesitation there from us. We felt comfortable doing it at the time. We feel great about it now, and we're excited for him to play a bunch of games this season. And we're really excited to have him on our team.
was your summer? What did you do to get off the grid and kind of recharge for the grind?
I'm trying to think, which is a problem. I went back home to Canada, visited my parents, saw my brother, saw my nephew, just hung out with them for a little bit. Honestly, explored Atlanta a little bit more. I didn't get a chance to do that as much, and hung out there. Went to Riga, obviously, and like I know that was a work trip, but it was also really, really fun and relaxing. Everybody was sleeping when I woke up back here, so I got a chance to walk around the city and hang out. So it was a good trip, but exploring Atlanta a little bit more and just learning to, picking some of my mentors' brains on things like that. It's always exciting, trying to develop just like everybody else in our program.
Just go follow. Is there a mentor outside of basketball that you might know that you kind of connected with?
No, man, I'm a loser. I don't know too many people outside this industry, so like I keep bugging the basketball guys, mostly guys that have been mentors to me for a long period of time.
Any other questions? Ken?
This is not really the question. I'm curious, what is it like to be part of a 7-team trade? Like, does someone take the lead on that, or like, I imagine, like, I would think like even a 3-team trade is difficult to kind of process. What is that like to?
Yeah, they're pretty crazy. Like teams got to touch and do everything. It just takes a lot of collaboration amongst our group and like our strategy group and Peter Dinwiddie are just rock stars at that, working that out. We're in constant communication with the GMs and strategy guys from other teams to make sure like this all works. So it takes some time to figure out, but honestly, it's not that bad once you get in communication with those guys and just lay it all out.
Just one last thing on the Eurobasket. You're not just there just to watch your guys. Can you take something from those games and the way they played, and maybe from the way that they coach as well over there? Because a lot of those teams we know, those guys have been playing together since they were kids. And so is there something you can sort of bring back? And I know Coach Snyder spent some time in Europe as well. So did you notice something about that game that may help?
Yeah, it's a great point because I think the thing that I took away from that was like the continuity. The more you play with one another, the better you are. Like when I was in San Antonio, we barely made any trades, and there's a point to that. There's a reason. The continuity, and like that's the goal. Is like you get to a point where you're really comfortable with your team, and you know what you have, and these guys can grow and develop. So then when they play together, it's like it's just automatic. Just this well-oiled machine. And I felt like that's what we had in San Antonio for all those years, and I think that piece really stood out to me. Like guys. They just knew what they were supposed to do, where they were supposed to be. They communicated in like a healthy, like you could see them, it was like a healthy conflict as well, where you're not afraid to speak your mind and everybody just gets it because it's all for the team.
Thanks, Onsi.
Thanks guys, appreciate you.